You have found it. It is the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, the edition for April the 8th, 2025. April the 8th definitely rings a bell because it was on this date last year on April the 8th, 2024, that we had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in our part of the world, and the weather, for the most part, did cooperate. It was sure a lot warmer a year ago today than it was today, but yeah, we had the total solar eclipse visible in our area a year ago today with the path of totality, clipping parts of northwestern Mahoning County. Most of Trumbull County was in the path of totality, and a little over half of Mercer County also in that path of totality. And while there will be occasionally some partial solar eclipses visible in the coming years and decades, we don't have a total solar eclipse visible in our part of North America again until the very end of the century, 2020 or 2099, I should say. September 14th, 2099. That is 75 years from right now. Probably going to miss that one, but that is the next time we'll have something like we had a year ago today. And it's a good thing the eclipse wasn't today, of course, because the weather wasn't great today. Now, you'll see on this time-lapse video from Niles, the ground got covered briefly this morning with these snow showers around. We did have some sunshine today, and you know, it's hard to pull off a really cold day like we had today at this time of the year because the sun angle is about the same as early September, but still, we struggled to get above freezing with temperatures at the airport only reaching 35 degrees this afternoon, almost 20 degrees colder than the average. This morning's low is nowhere near record territory. The records at this time of the year on the low side tend to be in the teens. 23 this morning was the low, the record 14, 1982. Now, we did not have any measurable snow officially at the Youngstown Warren Airport. I just showed you that time-lapse from Niles where some measurable snow did occur briefly this morning. We had a few tenths of an inch here and there, especially in Trumbull County, but officially just a trace at the airport. We're going to call this pretty much, I suspect, our final number for the season, because while there could be a few wet snowflakes mixed in with rain Wednesday night, very early Thursday morning, I doubt it's going to add up to much of anything measurable, maybe some trace amounts, but for all intents and purposes, I suspect this 43.8 is just about going to be the final number for the season. Yet another below average season. And, you know, this winter, of course, was different temperature-wise. It was colder than many of our recent winters, but it did not come with a lot of snow. We're going to finish the season well over 20 inches behind the average for the seasonal snow total here in our area. And don't forget, of course, and chances are you know this, if you're watching this video, we get our official observations from the airport in Vienna, about 15 minutes north of downtown Youngstown. All right, checking in on temperatures nationally through the first week of the month. It's been a cold month so far compared to the average in much of the interior of the country. While it, of course, was cold today around here, we had quite a mild stretch for a few days last week at the start of the month, so we're running above the average technically east of the Mississippi, although it's a mighty cold air mass overhead as we speak by April standards. In fact, the 7 o'clock hour observations look like this. We're hanging on to 34, 35, 36 in most of the area. We've already dropped back below freezing in northeastern Mercer County. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning with temperatures down into the middle 20s. We'll go county by county here, and as usual, when I show you these county breakdowns, you know, we have many of the more noteworthy cities on here, but in the cooler nooks and crannies, especially river valleys and things like that, it can run a little bit colder. We'll have some clouds for a time tonight, maybe even a flurry overnight, but I think the sky will be perfectly clear at daybreak Wednesday morning, allowing for temperatures to bottom out right before daybreak. We're looking for something around 24, 25 in Mahoning County. Up in Trumbull County, 25, 26, 27 will be common over in Mercer County. Many communities waking up around 24, 25, 26 degrees, but again, the colder spots, you could see a 22, 23. Same idea down in Columbiana County, some of the sheltered valleys. Once you get into kind of the hillier terrain down here, yeah, you could see a 20, 21, 22 on some local car thermometers first thing Wednesday morning. But we will start out with sunshine for Wednesday morning. But fairly quickly as we get into the afternoon, clouds will increase as our next system approaches. I think the rain and wet snow will hold off until after sunset, but it will precipitate for a lot of Wednesday night. Occasionally some wet snowflakes will be seen, but for the most part this is kind of a chilly, miserable rain for a lot of Wednesday night. Now Thursday I don't think is a washout. Best chance for showers probably first thing in the morning. Our latest model here shows a drying trend midday, maybe some sunshine working in. I'm not sure if the weather turns that favorable. We're going to hang on to the chance for showers, but it's possible that there will be several hours of a fairly dry period here around midday, early afternoon on Thursday. Showers might try to return later in the day as that low makes its closest approach. Now, this low is not going to keep on swinging to the east. It's going to kind of hit the brakes and kind of dumbbell around parts of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys for a couple of days. And that's going to keep our weather potentially a little unsettled Thursday night into Friday, maybe parts of Saturday as well. Shower chances remain in the forecast. At the very least, I think it's going to stay pretty cloudy into Friday and probably a good chunk of Saturday too. Most of the rain probably tries to be to our east, but it's a close enough call that we're going to keep at least a low-end chance for showers in our forecast through Friday and perhaps Saturday as well. And while there will be a temperature rebound at the end of the upcoming weekend, Sunday and into Monday, that's really the bright spot when it comes to temperatures over the next 10 days. This little warm-up right here. After that, there's probably a cold front that knocks us back. It's not a cold air mass like we have right now, but a cooler air mass. And so, I think this is going to be the theme for a lot of the rest of April. Occasionally, we're going to spring a couple of decent warm days, but a sustained warm pattern, a 3, 4, 5 day stretch where we get into the 60s and 70s pretty consistently, that may be pretty hard to come by through a good chunk of the rest of April. So that's the way it looks right now. I kind of suspect the rest of April will not be as unsettled, quite as wet, if you will, as the first week or so of the month has been. It's been a pretty active pattern. And of course, for the rest of April, we'll occasionally have some precipitation, but it may not be quite as active as it has been so far. We'll take another look at the longer range trends Wednesday evening on Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your Tuesday night.